Speaker, today we are here to consider H.R. 805, the DOTCOM Act. I first introduced this legislation last Congress, and I'm proud to see it brought to the floor today. The DOTCOM Act is a great example of what can get done when we work together, and builds on the Energy and Commerce Committee growing record of legislative success. Mr. Speaker, as many of my colleagues know, from the time the administration announced their intent to transition the IANA functions, I've had serious concerns about the potential risk associated with the move. I've said time and again that this is far too important to rush and that we must carefully consider all the potential consequences and outcomes before any transition occurs. My bill would require a period of 30 legislative days for us to review any proposal that NTIA receives from the multi-stakeholder community and ICANN. This allows us to hear from our constituents and consult with outside experts before we decide if the proposal is satisfactory. If, in this review period, allowed only through passage of the DOTCOM Act, we find that ICANN and/or its proposal does not adequately protect the free and open Internet, Congress can then take action to either completely stop the transfer or require more safeguards to be put in place. Additionally, and perhaps most importantly, the DOTCOM Act requires NTIA to renew their contract to continue these important stewardship functions with ICANN before it expires in September. Everyone agrees that the contract should remain with NTIA while this process moves forward. DOTCOM is a vehicle to make sure this does in fact happen. Extending the contract takes the pressure off making a rushed transition and perhaps making mistakes. We get one bite at the apple on this, and we need to make sure it's done correctly. Mr. Speaker, before I relinquish my time, I want to say that I'm very proud of the work that has been done on this bill in the Energy and Commerce Committee, particularly by Chairman Upton and Walden and Ranking Members Pallone and Eshoo. We wouldn't be here today without their hard work and also the work of staff, particularly Greta Joins of my office, committee staff David Rettel, Kelsey Geiselman, and Margaret McCarthy, David Goldman, and Tiffany Garoccio. Mr. Speaker, clearly this is an issue that has brought both sides together for the best interests of Americans. I ask my colleagues to support the passage of H.R. 805. Thank you, and I reserve the balance of my time.